Person who was here.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the October 11, 2016 minutes.
I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
you know what? I think it's the
the
25th.
wrong
I'm sorry.
date.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
25th.
That's my fault.
October 25th
Jeez.
minutes.
I'm having trouble. I couldn't get it right last
Yeah.
time either, the 25th.
I will second that.
Jeez.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Public comment, not hearing or seeing anyone. Manifest and payroll, I need a motion.
Okay.
Whoever wants to
Do we
motion
sign?
first.
Okay, make a motion to approve the manifest and payroll as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And one says corrected copy, so we had a corrected line item on one of them.
Looks like a medical deduction line.
And Judy, did you show me that you had your reimbursement?
I did,
The retro?
Yes.
Good, okay.
as long as they took out the appropriate amount of taxes and
Yep.
I don't
It's
get...
7th, isn't it?
Eight?
Today's the 8th. Yeah.
Eight?
The historic 8th.
Historic eight, that's
I think I have
right.
to get
Yeah.
that.
And just for the record, the commissioners have not been being paid the budgeted amount in an inadvertent way. When, after town meeting, when that went through, we had change in personnel and all the troops got retroed, but the commissioners didn't get bumped up. And Judy and I got talking about it last time, so I
Captain
checked.
stiffing us?
We've been stiffing the
have.
commissioners, yes. But, so you just got a big retro, but in December, you'll drop back to whatever the amount's supposed to be.
Calling my union on that.
I know, no kidding.
So
It's a
weird
little-
because I had
little embarrassing.
I woke up one morning thinking about that. Thinking,
They-
I'm sure they
yeah.
took care of it.
And
You
Judy
know,
was like,
one time,
That's funny.
at
Oh.
town hall, I had been registering a car. And I've been registering a car
No, you need to
for
sign that
4 or
one.
5 years until they realized they were charging me too much
oh,
and they had to pay me back money.
that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, happens sometimes.
That's always nice.
Then there was a time no one was taking out my retirement for a few months, but I didn't like that too much at all.
At the town hall?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oops.
When I first started.
somebody, oh, was that the same person?
No,
Never
that's not
mind,
it.
never mind. Yeah, that was somebody's undoing.
Yes.
Yes. Same thing with the treasurer here. That same circumstance, probably the same time frame.
Yeah, I mean, an honest mistake, but very,
Yeah,
frustrating.
right. All right.
Okay, new business, district clerk, annual bonfire?
Yes, now, no,
It's on a separate line.
oh, the
One thing at a
the re
time.
was, when I sent it to you by email, there was a note there, which is not there now.
Okay.
The district clerk called me and wanted to come in, but she called today and said she couldn't come in. But she asked me to convey 2 messages to you. One is that and it's budget time, one is that her pay is $500 for the year. And I don't know how long it's been like that, but forever. And she's respectfully requesting that get bumped up to $750. I'll let that sit for a minute. And the other request was that the moderator, Bobby Clay, has asked if the district would go to electronic ballots for our elections of commissioners. And the clerk was not convinced that it was the right thing to do, and she thought it was going to be hugely expensive. As it turns out, it's not hugely expensive at all. We spend about $390 now on election expense, and it'd be, at the most, it'd be a couple $100 more. She was willing to count the 350 votes, but the moderator mentioned it to me last year.
Yep.
And so she did some research, she dropped it off this afternoon, but she left me a phone message summary, and I think it's gonna be less than a couple $100 more than we budget for election expense now. Much less need for election clerks
Yep.
to count.
And you can always count the ballots too, right? I mean,
Yeah, you can count.
Right, there's a backup, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There'll still be the paper.
Sure.
It'll just be
Yeah.
that
Right.
they're running it through
Run
the
through
machine.
the
Yeah.
machine.
Yes.
And
It's just,
we-
basically, it's a counter.
It is. We won't use many ovals, because like this year, there's one position, it's a
Yeah.
commissioner. We don't elect the moderator, we don't elect the treasurer or the
Yeah.
clerk every year.
I
Right.
can't see a reason why we would not do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't, we
So-
still at annual meeting will be counting our little paper ballots because we have
Oh, you do it here.
For warrant articles.
so many
For warrant
people
articles,
who
yeah.
come to our meeting, so,
We can count to 9.
yeah, I think we can.
Good. So is that a motion to approve the request for
Make a
electronic?
motion to approve the request for electronic ballot counting.
Okay,
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Yes.
and then what about the request? We would have
That's
to,
for the district clerk, right?
Yes, the
Is she-
district
Is she
clerk.
also the
Isn't
district
that
clerk of the
salary?
town as well?
no,
Isn't that
Or
non-public?
or what is
no, it's not non-public, actually.
what is the
Okay.
It's
clerk
public.
being paid?
500.
Oh, the clerk over at the town?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's the full-time
Oh,
town
full
clerk
time.
position, yeah. Lot, like
So
60 grand or something.
I'm not opposed to looking at the pay,
What does she do?
but what can we compare it to? Maybe 750 is not even enough. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should be fair if she's, you know,
Well, it's one of those positions, and Chris and I talked about it today, that it's almost a nominal sum that these folks get paid. It hasn't been increased in a very long time.
Yeah.
Thought it used to be 100.
It probably was, I don't know. The moderator's been 100
Yeah.
since I was town administrator. But she spends an entire day here, the last day of filing for elections. She has to, because people have to register in person if they register on the last day. So that's a 7 or 8 hour day. The day at the polls is a long day, plus counting. That'll go faster this time. Town meeting, or district meeting, and then she's got to write the minutes. And then probably half a dozen times a year, she's got to come in and give us a stamp on things. So,
okay, so let's look at this.
Yep.
How many hours in a year do you think she, what I just heard it was about 40 hours a year.
yeah,
And, you know, what's a fair hourly rate for a person like that? Are we talking, you know, 10, 15, 20, $25 an hour for those types of skills?
right. And the other thing too is that we really didn't have people coming out of the woodwork to run for this position. So she was asked, you know,
Yeah.
would you please run for the position? So we want to make it at least palatable for somebody. It's basically a volunteer position with a stipend. That's what it ends up amounting to.
Right.
Are there analogous positions for people at the
just gonna ask
town who help out?
I don't think
like
it's the
to-
town.
No,
It would be
We'd have to go to
two
another
other
small
districts.
districts, which there's only 2 water and sewer districts,
Right.
if they fill out the survey.
Well, I feel like we have an obligation to the ratepayers to at least look at what those rates, those
Right.
would be for the other
Okay.
districts.
And I think-
We don't necessarily have to agree with what they do, but
I think
it's-
Steve's,
yeah, I take
you know,
Steve's comment.
it's
I'm trying to
important, you know,
form-
how
as
much.
starting from a reasonable living wage or whatever,
Yeah.
what wage,
I'm trying to
fair
form-
wage per hour.
Forge a relationship with the other 2 fully water and sewer separate districts in the state. One of them is Rollinsford and the other one's Conway Fire. And so I've got an email relationship with folks. I can get that information
Mhm.
probably. What could be curious though is if the clerk also serves as a something else. you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, right, so there's
small
not,
town.
there's not
It's a
a
small
direct,
town.
yeah, yeah.
I found it really difficult to find salary comparables,
Yeah.
even looking at
Well,
NHMA's.
if it's too complex, if we're asking too much, I mean, the bottom line,
I can
I'm
help.
okay with 750,
Yep,
but I'm also wondering if, you know, I didn't realize that we're such a rare bird here,
yeah.
you know, and I'm wondering if we haven't changed it in so long, is 750 even enough? I mean,
I'm just.
I'm okay with going to 750.
Yep.
I totally am. And, you know, if we learn in a year or two that that's not enough, we can reevaluate. Or if that's too much, I'm
Right.
okay with even staying at that because it's been so low so long.
Right, right.
So,
Well, I don't need to put it in the budget, and I think I can, I mean, tonight, you know, I don't need the answer tonight. We can make it in 2 weeks, so I can see what
Yeah.
intel I can gather.
Yes.
All right, she'll be glad that you considered it.
And what's our minimum salary hourly pay for somebody at the plant?
Or here, 1804.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we
So
might
that's
ju- So we might
somebody-
use that as, yeah, right.
Well, I'm thinking, I'm not
1804
thinking,
plus benefits and stuff like that.
Plus benefits, yeah.
right,
Retirement.
so, I mean, I'm wondering if $15 an hour is enough.
So maybe we look at it as more like 20, and then an even 20.
Yeah, because we're not paying benefits or anything,
Yeah,
so that would be but that would only be $600,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
6 times 40,
Yeah.
no?
Let's see what those other districts pay, and let's do some calculation. I mean,
Actually, no, that would be 800, so.
and the other thing is, we don't want to not have a clerk,
Right,
Right.
exactly.
so
So that's why I'm, how much
Yeah.
would that
I'll-
work
I'll
out to
gather-
be for?
I'll gather some intel and okay on the electronic ballots. Great, all right.
Okay, annual bonfire
All right,
request.
this is the easy request. The police captain, Alex Hutchins, always comes in with a,
Deputy chief.
is he deputy chief now? Okay, sorry. That's why I
Oh
was
my goodness.
hesitating. I wasn't sure.
Up in the world.
The bonfire request is an annual thing for the hometown holiday celebration, and it's December 3rd with a rain date of the 4th. And it's held down on water and sewer property. So they talk about using pallets and what they'll do to protect it and clean up. And it almost seems like we should just ask them to notify us and just give them a...
I think that's just a formality.
it's a
Yeah, I think it is a
Yeah, I mean, I
formality.
can't imagine us saying no to that.
So,
I think we would
Yes.
make a motion to accept the request as a formality, and that we find no reason why we
Yeah.
wouldn't do this.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's
Thank
always
you.
a fun.
Yeah,
That's a fun
That's a
request.
fun topic. I saw him today. I told him we'd get an answer to him tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so now,
2017 CIP budget, revised fees.
Yep, and to bring Commissioner Temprano up to speed a little bit, I gave him a copy of the CIP, and I have new copies of the fees and the budget for you. I think I put the fees on the table. And the budget proposal, green one's sewer, and the blue one is water. And what I would point out to you is that the things that are kind of highlighted in khaki,
Khaki.
those,
Such a
those,
lovely color.
those will get
Khaki.
revised when, just to remind you, Judy knows this, that the board policy is to apply the October
Right.
Consumer Price Index, which comes out on November 17th, and so all of those will get multiplied up, the wages, and
Based
then,
on
and then
the-
the attendant
Right.
retirement system, FICA, and all of that. And then
I would say that's putty as opposed to,
okay,
So, what's the difference between?
water's blue.
Green is sewer, water's blue. That,
Okay.
And I made it that way just because it's so hard to,
I would have thought like, it would say like, water or.
well, it does
Where?
by your left thumb.
On my left. Oh, water.
Yeah.
Okay, duh.
I guess we could have used brown there for sewer, but
No, bro, you guys aren't really picking apart the color coding.
I certainly am not.
On the sewer, third
I'm just
page,
gonna sit here and go like this.
there are two yellow
it's meant to be a
items
subtle comment.
on the sewer third page, and those are, one of them is sludge pump piping, which Jason is right now getting the bids and the contracts together. That's a big ticket item, it's $85,000, it hasn't been done yet, but in order for me to ask you to...
Is that related to,
No.
no.
It's a distinct project which should have happened in 16. What we're anticipating is at probably next meeting, I'll have a list of items that we will request that you carry the money into 17 so we can either do or complete the project.
Yes.
And
Right.
in order for that to be real, we have to have the project either underway or be in a contract with somebody. So he's pursuing that piece, and we've got
Okay.
a couple others. But we don't have it all together yet. There's money left over in EII and the SCADA projects too that we'll probably ask you to carry over. And that's why
Okay.
see the $10,000 is
Yes.
yellow. He had asked for, he had put 10,000 in or said, or can I have the money left over? Well, yes, he can have the money left over. That's a that's easy to carry that money over. So that 10 is probably gonna come out.
Okay.
So we cut a few things.
Is that, does that mean SCADA is not complete, or is
It means they still have some money and they can still do some improvements to the electronics
okay,
with the money. And remember, we borrowed 130 and then 120 to do that. And we want to use all of it. Otherwise, you know, the money we borrowed, we don't really want it to lapse into general fund. We want to use it for the purpose it was intended to, so.
Steve, also the ones that are lined out are ones that are either rolling into other.
Oh, we're not repeating it.
Or we're not repeating the
Retiring.
capital reserve.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Renaming, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, we did in a couple of places. I don't see a reason to have outside legal anymore. Just have legal. We did that
Because
when
we
there was a
never had
lawsuit.
inside legal.
Well, we did. We had professional services legal, but we used that very, very little. We do when we need.
Right, but-
question, but
But
we
it's
we
still
did when there was a-
outside services, like we
Yeah.
don't have an attorney here.
Oh, no, of
Right,
course.
so
Well, I know, that's what was funny. They were all outside
Right.
legal, but we don't have a lawsuit. I think that's why you were tracking it separately.
Maybe.
So, we just need one line. So we've tried to streamline the budget so that we have, so I guess what I would ask you to do tonight, if you're ready, is to formally approve the CIP and the budget in concept. Not the bottom line, because we don't have it, but in concept, so I know what we're working with now. And then we can start to tighten it up, and, you know, there's some questions that I'll have for you. On the water budget, on the last page, there's a $385,000 request to make the well improvements. And Jason thinks that that can be backed way off because we can do some work ourselves. And that's coupled with the $150,000 to replace the feed coming out of Foster Street. So that's a more than a $500,000 project. And, you know, once he does back it off a little bit, he's working on it. Then,
Once he figures out what we can do in-house.
yeah. Then the question will be like, are we using general fund money to fund this? Are we gonna, you know, float a bond issue? You know, how are we gonna proceed with funding all these items? Because it's a lot. It's a lot of freight. Jason came in 2 weeks ago and kind of slowly went over all the big ticket items and the other stuff. You'll be happy to know that based on the hours for your contract administrator, I've cut that from 80 down to 80 down to 70.
So if we're only approving this in concept, it's really not that big of an issue. And this isn't, we are very far away from a finalized budget here. So.
Right.
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 And we don't usually approve it in concept. We just keep working on it until we're ready to
Okay.
vote.
I mean, but
Yeah.
as
I
long
don't
as
think we need to.
I mean, it's a good heads
Yeah.
up as to the
Okay.
direction.
that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine too. You know, as long as I know we're on the right track, and then we'll finalize the salary stuff and
Right. For next time, and then we'll be good.
yeah.
Right? Because
Okay.
our next meeting will be after that.
It'll be the 22nd
Right.
if you want to meet that Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
All right, but how about the fees? If you saw them last
Yeah.
meeting. and-
yeah, I thought we
Yeah, I think we're
concluded
okay there.
that
Yep.
things looked pretty good.
And what fees is that again?
These are the
Oh.
fees for connections and services. If you give me the consensus carte blanche, the consensus approval, they're gonna become part of the ordinance revision anyway, so you're gonna have a chance to adopt that in full, consider and adopt that in full. We could always tweak it then, but this is what we'd send down to the attorney to put in the rewrite.
Right.
If I get a proceed nod from you.
How long have these fees been
right?
As of 13, 2013?
We just,
Some of them.
some of them know it was like '07.
Oh,
And
And it's,
I
that's
guess
like
it's worth
the
pointing out to,
3/4
in
inch
the,
meter that's been the same since I got here. So that's never changed.
you know, a lot of these are not changing.
Right.
I mean, they're just
Yep.
specific things that
Yeah,
we realized we were just not getting good. That they're just not
Exactly.
realistic at all for,
Right.
for what we were doing.
Steve, for example, the time to help an applicant walk through everything they need was more than we were charging them. And, you know, the board said, we don't want to completely cover the cost because we get fees to pay Jason's salary, but let's make it a little bit more reasonable.
right.
So-
But you don't want to lose money by,
Yeah, right,
right.
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 But we can't expect to recapture
Everything.
every
Right,
Right.
right,
penny
right.
that we're.
Right.
This was to just make it more equitable.
Right.
Some stuff is going up, but that's reimbursable stuff for bigger projects, you
Yeah.
know, not the average homeowner. I think the biggest one that would be going up for the average homeowner would be the meter charge, but it's going from $5 to $9. And the reason for that would be the fact that $9 over, what did we say, 10 years or something, is actually the cost of
Of the meter.
replacing the meter. So right now, if we replace a meter, we're losing money on that. And the idea was not to
Not
lose
to
money
lose
on
money.
that one.
Well, especially since we spend a lot
Right.
of money on meters.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
I'm okay with what
I'm-
we had
I'm
discussed
okay.
last
Entirely,
week,
yes,
so
yeah.
it's.
All right, great.
No
Steve,
change
do you
in
feel
anything
like
there.
you're-
Good, yeah.
All right, so.
Good.
Chris, would you like to
Oh,
make
sure, I'll make a motion that we approve the rate and fee schedule for both water and sewer as presented to us.
Steve, second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we will continue working on the CIP and budget
Yep.
as we go
And
along.
I also have been sitting and holding, this is an expense report to date for 2016, which we do have in the middle of the proposed pages is the expenses up to date.
Okay.
So that's helpful, but there it is in another form. So you can see where we are, if you have
Yep.
any questions when you look at it. Happy to answer them. But we're in good shape, generally.
Good shape is good.
We're in
It
good
would
shape.
appear, it would
I
appear
mean,
so.
We're in good shape, you know, we've got these big projects that we haven't spent money on yet, so it looks like
That looks like we're really flush.
percentage doesn't,
Right.
is skewed here. And also, Judy, you might pick this up, because you do in the sewer portion, there's a figure for maintenance supply, repair, and parts. There's 17,581, it's on the very last page.
In the fee, in the,
Very last page in sewer, on the expense report.
okay, very last page in sewer
But-
expense report. Got it.
2 inches down.
Oh, yes,
That's,
ouchies.
this was for the pump and the generator that we had to buy for $16,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is in the right spot. You know, I always wonder when I see something like that, if something hasn't been accounted in the
Right.
wrong. It's in the right spot, and we've got mentally where the money's coming from.
Right, it
Jason
just
and I have
hasn't been-
identified 2 places where we'll
Okay.
cover it, so. I mean, you know, I always, when I see things like that, it makes me go, wait a minute, what? But,
Yep.
but, yeah. All right, so that's that. Maybe one other thing to note, is it the water or the sewer truck? Yeah, it's a water truck. We took $45,000 out of capital reserve to fund a truck, and we only spent just a little under 30, 29 and change.
Nice.
I checked with the auditor today, and I said, shouldn't we put that back in capital reserve? Otherwise, it just like sneaks into the general fund.
Yeah.
And he agreed with me, like,
All
yes,
right,
put
so
it back
let's
in.
put it back in.
Yeah, well, yeah, good, well, that's what I asked.
Yep, no, that makes
I
perfect
was
sense.
so happy to get a clear answer.
Yes.
Right.
We like,
Yes,
we
put it
like
back
clear
in.
answers.
Yeah,
And quickly?
yeah, we'll put it back in.
No, I mean, when you
Oh,
add,
yes, it was within an hour or so. Yes, I was delayed, yes.
My goodness.
And I said the same thing, I got a clear prompt answer.
boy, oh boy,
All right,
what do you know? Wright Pierce and their lovely
Okay.
contract
Yes.
proposals.
okay, so I think we talked about this a little bit, I talked to Chris and I
Yeah.
just
Talk to
quickly.
me.
Yeah, and we've got a revision now, and I tried to bring Steve up to speed a little bit. I've got the maps if anybody wants to look at the maps again, but essentially, there's a timing issue. In order for us to get grant applications into USDA RD, we need to do it by, I can't remember if it's December 1st or if it's the end of December, but it's December. Normally, it's January, and it gives them a little bit more time. Them meaning Wright Pierce, the engineers. So 2 weeks ago, I had 4 contracts sitting here that were, for money that we don't have budgeted right now, for them to do all the preliminary planning for the application. Basically, they have to do like a design report for the application. So it's kind of like cart before horse.
Yes.
Last year, on the septage design, we took $36,700 out of cap reserve to get the engineer going so we could get an application in. And we were getting some preliminary promises from USDA RD that the grant amount might be, 45%, which was huge, and we all got excited.
We got very excited,
And then it ended
wasn't.
up being 25%, and that's no small change when it's a $1.3 million project. We were disappointed, but in the end, we got
Right.
a few $100,000 from them. So, again, they're saying they don't have a lot of applications. It'd be great to get applications in. We get somewhere between 25 and 45% probably funded. The other thing that kept our funding ratio down last time was for that septage receiving unit, the demographics they used to rate us included Wolfboro because we take their septage, and we didn't like those numbers for that purpose because the income level over there is a lot higher. So I sent Wright Pierce back to the drawing board and said, we've got $78,000 in capital reserve for sewer mainline construction, and we have a $10,000 contingency plan in both water and sewer, but we could fund water out of that.
Right.
So they've come back to us this week, today, with new contracts, which if the board approves it, would require another vote to withdraw $78,000 out of capital reserve, and you wouldn't have to vote to use the contingency. I guess you should, to let us use it for that. I mean, it's a pretty specific, big purpose to use the contingency money for water. So I'm calling it Route 3 and Green Street. It's from here, this pump station, all the way down to the traffic circle, and then dog legs down onto Green Street. And so that's water and sewer, and they've broken down the cost to $36,000 in sewer and $4,000 in water for that project. And then the Foster Street project would be $6,000. This is just for cleaning.
This is just for planning and to apply for the grants.
Exactly. And then the pump 4 and phase 3 force main. Special.
Burger
Yep.
King and cross country.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Steve asked a good question too. Do you know if we have easements coming all the way to pump station 1, Judy?
We should.
Okay. Oh, I know we have a whole string of easements out that way. I just would have to review it, but
Yeah.
I made a note.
We should have them all.
So that's 12,000, and pump station 1 evaluation, which is this, would be $30,000.
Now,
And
pump station 1 needs to be reevaluated because everything coming from 4 now is going to dump into 1.
that's right,
Okay.
yeah, and to be rebuilt. So what Wright Pierce did was basically fit their proposals into the monies available, because I just told
We didn't
Mike,
have
like,
it.
we couldn't go
There is
forward.
there is no other way.
There's
Right.
no,
If
there's
you
no
want
other way
us
to do it.
Right.
Right.
If you want the work, this is what we
Yeah.
gotta do.
So most of this is boilerplate engineering speak in these contracts, but they need this to be able to get the applications ready. And we've been successful. We got 45% on the other $1.3 million project, which was $605,000. which is
It would be great if we got,
anywhere between 25 and 45%.
that would be awesome.
So,
Pump Station 1 is supposedly at capacity now, so it's gonna need some
right,
pretty big overhaul for us
Yeah.
to take the stuff from 4.
yeah.
And conceptually, are we talking about, obviously we're increasing the size, are we adding capacity for future expansion as well, I presume?
That's
Not
what'll
sure.
be engineered, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
Is it-
that would be a question for Ray Pierce when
Yeah.
Right.
The other thing too, and Judy pointed this out when we spoke, some of these wouldn't be budgeted for till 18, but we've got to apply for the money now in order to get the engineering started and then actually do the budgeting.
Right. So these aren't all imminent next year, but it would be nice to know how much money we've got coming in.
Right.
Right, and the other thing that's kind of driving this, and our superintendent really is driving this a little bit, we don't know what we're going to do with Main Street because of Northern Pass. And so we don't want to just sit on our upcoming projects. If that one's not going to, we don't know.
Right.
Right, it can't be a distraction, we've got to go on with the work that we need to do.
Yeah. I mean, we can't just wait and stop until we do that one and then
Right.
do our other ones.
Yeah,
We
right,
gotta keep,
precisely.
yeah, maybe that's what you were saying. So,
All right, so
So
we need
that's-
motions,
yeah.
or one big motion?
Yeah, one big motion will do it, I think, the 4, and I'll itemize them in the minutes.
Okay.
Make a motion to
As discussed.
accept these 4 contracts from Wright Pierce as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And let's keep our fingers crossed for 45%.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay, and then, job description, while you're passing those around.
Oh,
I
I
can-
gave you them to
No, you
do
didn't.
the-
We
the
need
job
to sign the
description?
who's.
Oh, the contracts, yes, you're right, Judy. Thank you for that.
We had talked last week, well, last time a little bit with Jason, asking him where we were going with this, staffing thing. And we weren't being very successful in finding, is it just me
Just
who has
one,
to
yeah.
sign?
Looks like it's just one.
Yes,
Okay, it's just me.
she hates it when she's on the one by herself. At least I found you the money.
That's true.
Oh, we need a vote to withdraw $78,000 from capital reserve and to use the
Yes.
$10,000 contingency.
Chris, would you like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that we withdraw the 78,000 from capital reserve and the 10,000 from contingency
Yep.
for use on, with regard to the Wright Pierce contracts.
And I'll
To fund the Wright Pierce
fund-
contracts,
like to
yes.
fund the sewer and water ones respectively.
Yes.
So I'll make it so it's clear, so we can tell what we intended to do.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Dave, would you like to second that?
He
Second
did.
that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So, back to what I was saying when I was rudely told I have to sign these and own more parts of the water and sewer district. We were talking to Jason about
Recruitment.
recruiting for that position that he wanted. and
His
that we
assistant position.
Really weren't getting anywhere because no one really has all the qualifications we were looking for. So we talked about potentially revamping the job description,
Yeah,
and that's
look inside.
The whole new approach.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what we've done is revised the water operator, and this would apply to our current operators because their job description hasn't been upgraded recently either. And all right, so what's on the table is just the job description change, and this, even if
For the water operator,
right, for any water operator.
right. What has been changed? It would be good to know what we
Well,
added, changed.
it's the more beefed up, I guess. It's, the other one hadn't been modified or changed. I mean, this is more reflective of what people do. It
Okay.
outlines qualifications.
Is the supervisor, I mean, is it normal for a water operator to work directly under the superintendent?
Yes.
They do.
It is,
Yeah,
okay.
it's very flat.
Okay.
They all do.
So we're not necessarily looking for someone with a certification, but trying to get someone who
Yeah.
can get to
Yeah,
that.
this would be
Right.
ground level.
Right.
water
This would
operator.
be pre-Gary and John.
Yes.
Well, and this also would be Gary and John's job description, except that John's a lead water operator
Right.
title, but all of the duties would apply to any water
Right.
operator. So at this point, we're just talking about the job description. Then we'll talk about staffing in a second.
I am good with this.
Yep, as
I wish the last line was in my job description.
What's it say?
there is some limited interaction with the public.
I know, right? For an
Yeah, I'm
introvert.
good with this.
Okay.
Motion or no motion?
Yep.
I'll motion to accept the changes to the water operator job description.
So moved.
Second.
Second, yes.
You moved, he seconded.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye. Yeah, sorry,
Okay,
confused.
so,
right.
staffing discussion.
Okay, so Judy, based on what you were saying,
Right.
We did work a lot to try to recruit a operations supervisor with a grade 3 certification.
Expanded the scope. Never
Expanded the
could
scope,
find anybody.
Yeah, it was going
Kept it
nowhere.
open months. We got some applications, but nobody was even close to being qualified. So rather than just leave it, Jason just kind of revamped his thinking, and that was the board's thinking actually, to bring in somebody under Jason. So he would like, now he wants to recommend a change whereby he would grow the senior staff, John and Gary and Roger and Fred,
Yeah.
and bring in some new folks at the bottom of the rung, and then they can open service holes and do
Right.
some of the, I guess, the more rudimentary.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great
There's
idea.
nothing not to be liked about this,
Okay.
and advancement within the ranks certainly is an added
Yeah,
incentive.
it is
for-
added incentive.
Sure.
And
I'm
so-
sure the staff is happy with it.
Yeah, the staff's happy. He's talked with the fellas. What he would like to do is then gain your permission to advertise for the water operator now, because we have the money in the 16 budget. See if we can get somebody on board at the first of the year.
Year.
It's going to take 8 weeks,
Yep.
At
10
least,
weeks to
yeah.
recruit somebody. And then he wants to add a wastewater operator at the low level to come in after town meeting, because that would be new money.
Okay.
And then, money-wise, do these two starting positions add up to the money that we had allocated for what would be?
I was
the
just
senior?
gonna ask that
Well,
question. It's probably
It'd
not
be a little
quite.
bit more.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit more, because you'd have two people that would probably make it around 42,000 instead of one making 60, plus health, plus the health
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
And we had budgeted for one health.
Well, if everybody is busy, and somehow I would imagine Jason is keeping them busy.
Oh, yeah, they're
Oh,
busy.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna
very
say,
busy.
I don't, how about they're too busy to,
You know, else I wanted to give you, I'm sorry that I'm so paper oriented tonight, but I did a little, for me and Jason, for you, I did a little proposed budget timeline, so we could just all, helps me kind of stay
No,
on
that's-
task. And I put at the bottom when the election filing date is for certain parties. And the other thing, this goes to budget, is, and I know, Judy, you get particularly interested in some of this stuff, just so when we start making decisions about taking on debt service, I want you to know what the freight already is.
right,
And so this
and
is,
what's left
Yeah.
and
This is-
how
Yeah,
much
no,
we've
this
gotta
is, this
pay
is
off
the,
and,
this is the,
this is a front and back water and sewer debt currently, going into 17.
this,
this is how much we owe. No,
Yeah.
take one.
oh, okay. just-
yeah, it's front and
I wasn't
back.
sure whether-
Yep.
okay.
What are you, I have these. There's a summary sort of on the bottom of the
Ooh, we're
left.
almost paid off with the sewer separation one.
Yeah. And we did actually retire 2 small loans this year, but
Good.
we've taken on enough that,
Well, we've got a couple that are ready to retire that we're gonna borrow again.
So just, as we think about, how we're doing.
Yeah, Carol's been really good at getting us great
She gets us great
rates.
money, and getting those grants helps enormously.
Oh, huge. I like the ones that say 2031 to 2044. Oy.
I know.
At least we don't have too many of those.
And we're locked in at those rates for these loans that are,
Some of them were
Some
locked, and
yes,
some of them
some
we could. I talked to
Two
them
that
about
are-
that last year.
yeah, it seemed that we did open that up, that
And, you know,
discussion, yeah.
Carol
Right.
sort of like, if I could have, I would have.
Right. Because I mean, obviously at 4
Yeah,
to
she
5%, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, USDA, we're locked in, so we can't do anything with that.
But we get 600,000 in grant
Right.
money, so.
Right.
And, but Meredith Village, I mean, if you look at our rates for Meredith Village, we've got 2.9, 3
Yes.
point, they're not. And the bond bank, we're locked into that one too.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, I seem to remember there was no,
Unlike a town municipality, the district doesn't have a debt limit.
Right.
Towns do and we don't. And I think because we pay with fee money.
Well, and the other thing is that if we have a project where we can't deliver water,
Right.
they're gonna fund us because we need it.
That's right. We have
You know,
sort of
we have
emergency
sort of
health
a-
needs. Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yep. But it's
So-
scary, it's a little scary not to have a ceiling.
Right, it is kind of
Yeah.
scary not to have a ceiling, but we've never done any borrowing I shouldn't say never, but we try very hard not to borrow willy-nilly
Well, no, we wouldn't.
in the past.
Yeah,
It's happened
yeah. And
where money got sort
so
of.
far, our constituents seem well able to pay their water and sewer bills.
Right,
So, all right, and this is what made me, not the debt service so much, but this is a spreadsheet, and it's pretty
goodness
small. but-
gracious.
a colorful one.
Yeah,
She's
this is
just got more
staff.
paper.
This is the whole staff computation, which I know that you.
Oh, yes,
you
this
like to
is
have it.
nice.
And
I
here-
like this one.
Yeah, here is the health insurance one, and this includes what I think you just approved, or maybe we're still thinking about the staffing. I don't think you voted, but
We hadn't voted.
it's in the budget. In
So
this,
now-
in this manner.
This is the COLA that's in here right now is an estimated COLA.
Correct. And we don't get the real COLA until November 17th. in
What
which case-
rate did you guys use for the COLA?
I think we put in .8 or something, and that's what
Okay.
it was in August or September.
Okay.
You're waiting for the,
You have to wait for the real
October
one.
CPI,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's the policy, board policy.
When does longevity kick in? What was it, 5
5 years, yep. And that's a pink block right in
Yeah.
the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 5 people.
And they get this,
First paycheck in December.
and it's in quotes, what we had discussed as being more,
It's in your policy now.
right,
To do this longevity instead of arbitrary
bonus
bonus.
or whatever. So everybody who
Yeah.
has been working over 5 years has steps
Has-
for longevity.
Yeah. Last year, Steve,
Okay.
we put everybody on a schedule. Step 1, step 2, step 3, which if you have a successful year, you're gonna move to the right. We have one person who will be at the top this next year, but in order to sort of recognize people that have been here a long time, rather than just do a bonus that had no basis of valuation, we instituted this longevity program, and it's similar to the towns.
And everybody, we had a big meeting with everybody and
They liked it.
they really
Yeah.
did like it.
So last year, people got a decent pay raise, and long-term people got the longevity benefit. This will be the first payment
Mm-hmm.
for that. We did the bonus still last
First year that we're
Yeah.
making
Right.
this, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And on the health, I want to highlight especially one thing. Last year, Health Trust owed the towns and cities money, and so we took what they call a contribution holiday. Instead of taking a refund back in money and depositing it, we said, yeah, if our budget for this is going to be whatever it was,
X amount.
we budgeted $20,000 less because we knew we were going to get a contribution holiday. So be careful when you're looking at the comparison. We have one person who's on a one-person plan instead of a two last year, so that's a gain. And if we hire 2 more people,
That's gonna be
that'll be up. And also we have to account for that we don't have the contribution holiday this year, and an 8.1% increase, which is lower than the pool, which was 13.9. So we've got a good, healthy population. And
And I'm assuming the new people we're putting in there will put in at family plan just
well, we
in
did.
case.
We did, yeah. I mean,
Because you can't,
otherwise
you
we
got a
short
budget,
them, you know,
right, we
you-
short ourselves.
it's like-
I would assume that
right.
most expensive case.
Yeah. Ugh, 8.1, yowza wowza.
Yeah, but so we really caught a break last year having that $20,000 contribution holiday, but
Do we have,
I mean, maybe we should be happy it's that low.
yeah, do we have people on the regular Blue Cross Blue Shield and people on Matthew Thornton? Why do we have 2 different?
I inherited those 2 different plans. I think some people are, is it like point of service and the other one's not, or something like that?
Well then, yeah.
We in other words, there are 2 options that we support here. I think it depends on what people's needs are.
Yep.
I'm not a health insurance expert.
Yeah, we had at one point in time talked about maybe going just to one plan, so we don't have to do the 2 plans, but,
I think it's okay to, there,
So,
nothing is outrageously crazy.
no, I think that some people either have prescriptions or they have some needs that warrant the 2 plans.
Okay.
wait, they're on a combination of the 2 plans, or
No,
they're
no,
at one
no,
or
no,
the
no,
other?
one or the
Yeah,
other,
yeah,
yeah.
right, okay.
Yep.
Right.
I'd like to know what the cost is for the 2 different.
Well, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's
It's not a huge amount difference.
No,
No, it actually
A
isn't.
few percent,
Yeah. I don't even think it's a few percent.
right.
for next July, the Blue Cross will go to $22.46 a month, and the other one, the Matthew Thornton, is $21.64, so
Yeah,
it's
so
less
we're
than
talking
$100.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's making somebody happy down
Yep,
at
that's
the
fine.
plant, so.
That's fine. You always got to ask the question,
Yeah.
whether I like doing it or not. I
Right.
always have to ask the
Right.
question.
And remember, these are what Health Trust calls the GMR, the guaranteed maximum.
Right.
They know we need rates now, but they're
Right.
not ready with their actuarial stuff. So when they give us a
A
conservative
ceiling.
line.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year we came under that.
Yeah.
Or the year
Year
before or
before we
something.
did, yeah. And last year was mixed bag.
Right.
So that's all information that feeds into the budget.
Okay.
And-
So we have to think about these new positions, and I noticed one was saying like a 3/4. Is that
Because we'd hire it
after town meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
And really-
So it would be full-time, full year, but 3/4 of next year because of when we would do the
So that's the
hiring.
wastewater
The
position.
Yes.
wastewater.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And which brings us back probably to the agenda item.
Right, which we have to vote on
Do you
that.
approve that plan?
Right.
Because will inform the budget.
So looking at, well, at least for next year, we're really about
Next year will be
About-
about even.
even
Yeah.
compared to what we had budgeted
Yes.
for the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the original single position.
Yeah.
Then it would increase.
And I think it's great that Jason feels like he's got people that he can count on to move up into those
Right.
other jobs that we were trying to just hire one person to do.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
good
there are people
cooperative
that-
effort.
I mean-
effort.
If their initiative and ambition was sort of stalled, it's lit up now. There's a couple of people that have gotten certification. Gary moved up, and Jay and David Guyot, who's brand new,
New,
but
yeah.
he's already got a grade 2 certification.
Good for him.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Jay also, the lab person, he's eager to do more in his job. He's a young go-getter, you know,
Yeah.
so.
It's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I need motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve this, these, oh wait,
Staffing
the,
plan?
the change in staffing plan, yes, right.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So 1 new position water, 1 new position wastewater, water to hopefully be jumped on ASAP.
Yes, we'll
And
advertise
wastewater
that
to be jumped on after
after
town meeting.
with the money. Yep, thank you.
Okay, I have other old business, just a really quick question.
Yeah.
Did you see those emails I forwarded you?
Yeah, yeah.
There was the one interesting one about sewer separation and storm drains and
Yes,
fees.
I did see that.
So, we might want to take a look at that at some
Okay.
point in time, because we had talked about what do we do if we don't have the stormwater separation and things like that? Do we start charging people who have roof drains going into our sewer?
Oh,
Those,
was this a question you posed?
this
or
No,
was
no,
an
no, it was an
old-
old email from
from Steve
Steve
Call.
Call, who had been looking at this for a while when Steve, Dick, and I were on the board, and we had been talking about, okay, you know we have stuff at the university, which has since changed.
yeah,
We know we had stuff downtown. We had some people who had inside foundation drains going into their
Why don't I-
sump
why don't I
pump,
forward you
going
the
into the,
emails?
so.
And just for the record here, what date or what year approximately was this?
why don't I forward you the
Okay.
emails?
Yeah,
Alright.
I had just been going through my emails and I'm like, oh,
Here's
here's what I
we were
saved.
talking
Look
about
at this.
fees.
This is important.
But he got those from stormwater utilities, which we're not.
Right.
So I don't, even though it's infiltrating into our system, I mean, it'd be a big
Right.
deal for us to start charging for it.
Right, and we don't want to,
Yeah.
but I mean,
It's, yeah,
it's an interesting
concept.
idea, and maybe the town should know about it.
I'll forward you to the email and want me to make it
Just-
an agenda item for some time?
It can wait. It's
Yeah.
just,
And the
it
other
was just
email you
something.
sent me was the recovery charges for Tenny Mountain, which would be
Right.
helpful for Jason and I to
Right,
understand what
Yes.
that was all about.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Well, if I could make one just brief comment, I mean, as far as homeowners or businesses, I'm sure just alerting them to the fact that they do have a connection to the.
we've done that,
Okay.
Like the roof drains? Yeah.
and some pumps.
But I think like Silver Hall is not connected to the sewer anymore.
No, I think the university did a lot of changes.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yep.
And that's a bulk of downtown.
Yep.
Okay, and then the Tenny.
Any other old business?
Other business.
Yes, other business.
Anxious to hear the
I
water
wanna
quality.
know
No,
what the-
they're not, the results are not in yet.
Oh.
The test, I had put in the notes when I sent you the draft, if they're in yet,
Oh, yes, right.
in red, and then they're not in yet.
Okay.
But I wanted to remember to report back.
Okay,
The test was just conducted, I believe, a week ago,
Right.
so we'll get that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump on the
Steal your
chair.
thunder.
That's right.
darn,
Wait till
I was
March,
kind
wait
of
till
excited about that too. All right, so purchase recs. We have a few, 7?
Here they are.
Okay, $5,080 to GSM paving for paving at the plant and locations around town. $875 QC services for lab calibration. That's our calibration of equipment that we do every year, sometimes twice a year. $1151.77 to Staples for uninterruptible power supply.
Supplies.
I was gonna
Supplies.
say, that better be supplies, because
Yes,
that's a
believe-
heck of an expensive
Believe
power
me, I
supply.
pounced on that one.
It's two,
It's 4.
it's 4 pieces of equipment,
Right,
but
Okay.
there's 2, what are those, triple light, I don't know, what,
They're just protect against
like a
a power
backup gen-
surge or a power outage. So,
yeah,
it
they're
provides-
important.
a few
And
minutes of,
yes.
Yeah.
And and it can shut them down, the computer down, so it doesn't get. So it just
Heated.
doesn't-
I think it's to protect everything.
Oh,
Yeah, all the
it's-
SCADA
it's-
stuff and
yes.
things like
Oh,
that.
yeah, it has a value.
$3,967.29 to tie sales for a new meter reimbursable. $248.90 to Sherwin-Williams for 5 gallons of paint. $870 to Weather Strong for reinstalling the overhead shed door, and $1,120 payable to Belmore Vectoring for vectoring various locations. So I need a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the purchase recs by consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
All right, any disgustings, any discussions? All right, I'm ready to go home. What are we painting?
I believe that when the shed got moved, they took the door off. It's to reinstall the garage door. Is that the same purchase
Could
order?
be 5 gallons of paint for a door, but
I was gonna say that.
No, that's a different thing, I think. Somebody's reinstalling the overhead door.
that was for the
Weather
moved
Strong.
building.
Is there anything in the backup materials about
I
what they're
will
painting?
get there in a minute.
Okay.
And
All
I've
right.
seen them out vectoring, so I know that's...
Yeah, I've seen him out vectoring too.
Guys are buzzing all over town all the time.
All right, 5 gallons of waterproof paint.
And it doesn't say
That's-
what they're painting?
Nope, it says, paint bottom 3 feet of shed number 2 to prevent
Sheds.
rot.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's right. That's why I remember reading that. I got
Okay.
confused.
Alrighty, so any other questions?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have non-public?
We don't, I don't have a response for you on that lease item.
Alrighty, so after we're done signing, we can adjourn.
Yep.
Second
Meetings
Yeah,
before we adjourn. Is everybody available the Tuesday before Thanksgiving?
The 22nd?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving week, Tuesday, and then the following.
I should be available unless my son tells me he needs me to pick him up from school. And then I will not be available, but I won't know
Okay.
for a bit.
And then December 6th.
I'm
is-
available.
Okay, let's plan it then.
All right, this one only has 1 line for signature, so they'll all need to sign under me.
And then
Line under the non-dotted line.
if we can meet 2 weeks after that, which is the 6th,
Yep.
it's the first Tuesday of the month, but it'll get us toward budget adoption at that point.
And
what I
won't
like.
interfere with holidays.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm good for the 6th, definitely, but
12/6?
12/6, yep.
All
November
right.
22nd and then 12/6.
but I am not good for
22nd, you know?
Potentially.
Can't promise yet. Okay.
potentially not good for the 22nd. I am hoping to know next week, but that would be my son.
All right.
Alrighty, so we had a
Next
motion
meeting.
to adjourn. We are done.